Hey everybody, so today I'm in the beautiful Caribbean island of Barbados. And Barbados is its own country. It's located in the southeastern corner of the Caribbean Sea. And I'm here for the next couple of days. And I have absolutely no plan other than to walk around and see what it's like here. Well, it looks like I know what I'm doing for lunch later on. Before planning this trip, I only knew a couple things about Barbados. I knew that they have a really cool blue and yellow flag. I know that their capital city is called Bridgetown. That's the city I'm walking to right now. I know that Rihanna is from Barbados, and so is Barbados Slim. That's the character in Futurama that cuts Hermes. I've been walking along this main road, and every 2 minutes or so there's a taxi or a bus who comes up and asks if I want a ride. I wasn't expecting there to be this frequent of transportation here. I'm at the beach, and according to this sign, I gotta look out for sea turtles here. I'm seeing a lot of signs along the beach telling people not to fuck with the turtles. I guess that's a good rule of thumb. If you see a turtle, don't fuck with it. Barbados is one of a whole bunch of small islands in the southern Caribbean. And what makes Barbados stand out is that it's relatively flat, as you can see. The other ones are very mountainous, but this island's pretty flat. And so because of that, it's got a lot more development, a lot more people. It has a whole bunch of plantations, and I'll leave it to your imagination to figure out the history to those plantations. Apparently, this is what the Prime Minister's office looks like. Not sure what I expected. Here is the center of Bridgetown, the capital city. And here's the bridge that it's named after. I assume. That sounds right, doesn't it? This is the first time in my life I've ever seen this. Here are the hours that they give you for when this bridge is open. There's Liverpool Lane over there. That's how you know this place is a former British colony. That and the fact that everybody drives on the left and speaks English. Right now I'm looking around for a cafe to sit down in, mostly as an excuse not to be out in the heat. There were a few that appeared on the map, but the information seems inaccurate, so hopefully I'll find one soon. Well, I haven't found a cafe with AC yet, but I did find this Asian place with this food, so that's a good compromise. We're at a supermarket, and they have cornflakes, and they have these cornflakes. I don't know what's going on with these cornflakes. Here's the deal. My original plan was to walk around a whole bunch today, like a whole bunch. But what I didn't consider is that it's hot here. So instead, I will be resting under a tree. Well, I woke up from my nap, and it's very cloudy. Also, I've noticed that those chefette restaurants are insanely popular. I walked by a couple of them, and each one was very busy. This is the neighborhood where Rihanna grew up in, and there's a monument that was dedicated to her. I walked by it, and unfortunately I wasn't able to record it because they were playing very loud music right next to it, so you guys don't get to see it. This is now the second banana peel that I've seen on the ground here. One thing that Barbados is known for is its rum, and I just got to the place where they make it. It's called Mount Gay. Barbados, proudly sponsored by KFC. You don't want to know what they're advertising out there, little guy. What I didn't realize until about 15 minutes ago when I just read it was that Barbados isn't just known for rum. It's also the place that's credited for developing rum in the first place. So when you drink rum, think of Barbados. A lot of signs around here telling people where to go in case there's a tsunami. Those are good signs to have, especially if there are going to be tsunamis. When I was flying here last night, I saw in the news that there was a huge earthquake off the coast of Mexico. And I was thinking, hey, that might not be good news for yours truly. But luckily it was off the southern coast of Mexico and not the eastern coast. So I don't have to worry about it. I went to the spot on the map called National Botanical Gardens. And it's this wide open space, and I see no gardens here. This botanical garden really isn't much of a botanical garden, but whatever it is, I like it. I noticed that 2 of those large venues that were being built are being built by the Chinese. Those guys really are taking over the world. All right, there's a sign that says live firing when red flag is flying. And the red flag is flying. I'm back in Bridgetown, and I'm in a park called Queen's Park. And I'm looking for a tree that is both the biggest and the oldest tree in Barbados. Can't be that hard to find. Here it is. Usually it's a pain in the ass to deal with conversion rates when you go to a different country. But luckily with Barbados, their currency exchange rate is, just by coincidence, it's pretty much exactly 2-to-1 with the US dollar. So shout out to Barbados's currency exchange rate. I have some good news and some bad news. The good news is I just ate Little Caesars. The bad news is that shit's expensive here. I paid like $12 for a cheese pizza. It's twice what it is in the States. Fuck that. Do not come to Barbados if you're expecting cheap Little Caesars. I'm heading back to my Airbnb. It's getting to be that time of night where dogs start to bark at me. Luckily, I haven't encountered any strays yet on this island. Fingers crossed. It is now the beginning of my second full day in Barbados. Yesterday I went all around the western part of the island, and I think today I'll hit up the northern part. I'm glad that I'm being lazy about this trip because my initial thought was to walk across the entire island while I was here, but and the reason I wanted to do that was because I looked at the map and saw that it was a relatively small island, maybe only 20 miles across. So I thought, like, oh, how bad can that be? But after walking around a lot yesterday, it became clear that this is not the place for that. It's very hot here, and walking around is pretty exhausting, and the roads aren't the best to walk along either. So instead, I'm just gonna, like, take a bus or something to the northern part. I am now on the opposite side of the island, and I took a nice air-conditioned bus ride for about an hour. And it sounded like it was the first time that bus driver had ever done that route, because he fucked up a whole bunch of times. I've made it to Farley Hill National Park, named, of course, after Chris Farley and Jonah Hill. It looks like the main attraction to this park is closed off due to construction. But on the plus side, all these trees are helping to keep this place reasonably cool. Seems like this hill is the best place to overlook the island, or at least one of the best places. The Queen of England visited this park back in the 60s. She's dead now. She died because she was too old. Quick update. I started walking from that place to another place, and I thought that I was going to be walking on roads. That's what Google Maps said I would be doing. And instead, this is what it looks like. Looks like it's another a couple of blocks of this. I'll let you know if I make it out of this alive. All right, made it back to the road. I apologize to the farmer whose farm I definitely trespassed. That shit's not easy. What's up, little guys? You can't do shit to me up here. This morning, my dad messaged me to let me know that back in the 1600s, one of our ancestors actually fled England and moved to Barbados. And then his son became a captain and sailed over to Virginia. And it's good to know that I have captain blood in me.
He holds us with all our might. Look at people.
I'm coming up on a place called St. Nicholas Abbey Distillery. And from what little I've seen of it online, it's a mansion that has a rum distillery and it also has trains. What more can you ask for?
Gentlemen, over there at church, you're going to hear the history about the railway line we had in the past. There's a beautiful view there as well of the Scotland district and the eastern coastline. Feel free as well, you will also have that chance of taking some photos on the footprint of Jet 5 in and around the engine, and even a chance to be designed one of three of its kind in the Western Hemisphere.
Well, I got to the train tour just in time. I got there about 5 minutes before it left, and it only leaves every 2 hours, so it's good timing.
Setting you see there in the distance, that building you see there, that's Mount Gilboa, which is now presently known as the Mount Gay Distilleries, established in 1703. Months. So on the way down, we're going to be making 2 stops, okay? Our first stop will be at the train station. That will be for the guests with the yellow arm.
The avocado, the coconut, and the breadfruit. Oh, yeah. Only them. One of the ladies, her name was Sarah. She got married at Bath Abbey in England, or Carolina, where you pour parfum in. Now we carry them in our purses and our pockets. Take a look at the old red future. So
I wasn't expecting these guys to be part of the tour. Here is the distillery. This is where all the rum comes from. Well, that was a neat tour. I think it was worth it, especially for the guinea fowl. And we ended up drinking some rum towards the end of it, and I drank plenty of water as well, so I'm prepared to do some more hiking. I think I'm going to walk over to the eastern side of the island from here, which from that one overlook from earlier looked pretty fucking awesome. Right now I'm on the lookout for mongooses. I've already seen 3 of those little guys scurry around here. Mongooses are probably one of my favorite invasive species, I would say. Right next to humans. Am I right? Hang on, way in the distance I see one. Yeah, check that out. A lot of these island countries are divided up by parish instead of by county. And so right now I'm in the parish of St. Andrew. And as far as I can tell, each of these parishes seems to have their own sort of identity. I just spent about half an hour in a small town bar watching the World Cup with some guys. One of them was drunk as a skunk, but very friendly. Obviously, I couldn't record that though. In Barbados, there are 2 types of bus stops. Some that are to city and some that are out of city. I want one that's to city right now. Bridgetown is kind of the center of everything in Barbados, so that's why every bus route goes to it. I've heard it said that faith is like waiting around for a bus, that you're not sure when or if it's going to show up. And science is like Fuck that, I'm getting an Uber. Well, that's not a good name for a thing. At a fish market. This guy thinks he can just steal the product. Well, this is actually my last day in Barbados. I'll be flying out to St. Lucia tonight. And for now, I'm just checking out. Hold on. 1 second. All right. I think they're all done. Yeah, tonight I'll be flying out to St. Lucia, but for now I'm gonna just check out more of the southern part of the island. When I was a kid, I would watch those Wile E. Coyote cartoons, and they would fall off a cliff. And for whatever reason, I was like, oh, cliffs aren't real. They're just something that exists in cartoons. Turns out that they're real. Well, that's about it for this video. I'll be down in the southern Caribbean for the next week and a half, going between different little islands. Yeah, I think Barbados was cool. Probably named this video something edgy, like the media doesn't want you to see my trip to Barbados. I think that's a good title. Anyway, see ya.